So this is Max from Does It Matter and Why? And once again, we have Craig Kelly from Georgia on the most important day of the year. It is Election Day. So, Craig, how's it going?
Hey, Maxie, good to see you again. Yes, I am in Georgia. I'm actually from Cambridge, of course, as you know. But I'm reporting here from Georgia. I am outside one of the precinct polling booths or polling locations in Cobb County, Georgia. There are 147 polling locations just like the one behind me, whether they be firehouses or libraries or churches, or in this case, the back room of some sort of semi-suburban one-story office building. And they set all this stuff up yesterday. They brought in all these ballot marking devices and scanners and tape and poll pads and just this massive amount of equipment down to the extension cords to run an election, and they've been just funneling people right through. It's super impressive.
So, what's your take on the turnout? I know you haven't been down there in previous elections, but has anybody commented that it's busier than usual, the same?
I read that election day, advanced voting has been heavier. I don't have anything to compare it to, and it's only heavier compared to the midterms of 2018. So it's not heavier compared to 2020. It's difficult to know exactly how much one reads in the emails we get that sort of cheer you up propaganda versus true, neutral, analytical stuff that you can go to the bank on. I don't think anyone's upset with voter turnout, and certainly from a system standpoint, I don't think anyone has much reason, in what I've experienced, to be upset at how the voters themselves are being processed when they do turn out.
And so, did anything new happen with so we talked yesterday in between you're doing that door knocking. With any more insight from the door knocking?
So the door knocking, I think, is what you do with free labor. It maybe jogged a few people to think, oh yeah, Tuesday I got to vote. I wasn't changing anyone's minds. I mostly left stuff on doors that didn't get answered. And the people I did talk to, yeah, I've already voted, or definitely I'm going to vote. And a few Republicans apparently that just, they're like, no thanks, we're not interested. I don't think if you had to spend money for this, you would, or maybe you'd do it earlier in the game to try and really develop your list of who you need to pester to turn out. But there are so many tools out there now. I gave $50 to move on, but people are texting and retexting and texting again. You get on these lists and you can't get off. And the thing is, and I know this because I've lost multiple times actually, you cannot start over after 7 o'clock here in Georgia when the polls close. You don't get to say, oh man, I meant to vote. Oh, I forgot. Let's do it again. There is no do-over in politics. It's binary. You win or you lose. So anything you leave on the table, any number that wasn't texted or any door that wasn't knocked, anything you leave on the table, you can't go collect on Wednesday. It seems
So just so our viewers understand, when you say you from losing a few times, are you talking about when you were city councilor, or are you talking about something else?
No. When I was city councilor, right? When I lost the last time, I had people afterwards going, "Oh, I thought you were a shoo-in, so I voted for someone else." It was a close election. I told you I wasn't a shoo-in, but you don't get to, as soon as that vote is cast, you don't get to change your mind. And as soon as the polls are closed and it's 7 o'clock, you can still vote after 7 if you're in line, but here at 7 o'clock. Once that polling location shuts itself off to new people, you don't get to show up and say, now I remember to vote. Whether it's 7:05 on Tuesday or sometime in the morning on Wednesday, you don't get to say, oh, now it's time to go vote. They had 3 weeks of advanced voting. They've got 12 hours of voting today at 147 precincts here in Cobb County. A lot of people are going to the wrong precincts, by the way. Keep following people up to ask them why they didn't vote, see if I can help. And they're like, yeah, I got to go half a block down or whatever it might be. So there's a lot of opportunities to vote, and you just don't get that do-over if you don't vote. And from a politician standpoint, you don't get to do over if you don't win. You can't say, damn, we should have knocked harder or called harder or had a different messaging campaign. Sort of right now, the die is cast and you're running on whatever you put into the tank up until today. Now, yesterday, I did go look at absentee ballots. The absentee ballots are still coming in. People can drop them off right now at the county election center. They can't drop them off at the precincts, or they can mail them in. So they're still coming in the mail today. And by 7 o'clock, all the absentees will be somewhere. You can't drop your absentee off at 7:01, and nor can it arrive in tomorrow's mail. And that's different from Cambridge. Cambridge just has to be postmarked by today. So when I drop mine in the mail on Sunday, it'll be postmarked by yesterday, and it'll get there. I think it needs to get there by the 14th or something. So I'm confident. So yesterday I was in a different county, what I would call a rural county, about 50 miles south of here. And they were opening up the ballots, and then they come in envelopes. They'd open up the outside envelope, open up the inside envelope, review the ballots, make sure they had a Republican, a Democrat, and an election board member all looking at this stuff. And there's me and this other Democratic observer watching them because it's all done out in the open. And they're picking up these ballots and saying, okay, this one's ripped. We can't run it through the machine, so we're going to make a duplicate of it. Everyone agree what the duplicate is, and each of the people on this review committee would look at the ballot and sign off on it that, yep, this is the replacement ballot. The duplicate ballot says what the original ballot said. They can't run the original ballot through the machine because it had a rip in it. Sometimes they get torn when the envelope gets open. Sometimes maybe someone had a torn ballot that got mailed to them. There's also these things called electronic ballot delivery systems, where if you're overseas for some particular reason, like you're an overseas resident or maybe in the military, and you go to the state of Georgia and ask for a absentee ballot, they'll give you an electronic form. So you fill out that electronic form and mail it in to your county, and then they have to transfer all that information from the electronic form to the appropriate ballot. So that also has to be done by these three people. And in a place like Fulton or Cobb County, there's probably thousands of those. At the county I was in, Spalding, there's a couple dozen, not a huge amount. And each of those ballots reflects a particular voting opportunity. So if you live in precinct 3 and I live in precinct 4, you might be voting for different county commissioners. Or here they have a land and soil commission. So you might be voting for a different land and soil commission. So they've got a whole wide, bewildering variety of ballots that people vote on. So the people that are doing the ballot transfer from these overseas ones or the ones that have been somehow damaged and aren't readable, they've got to find the right ballot in the file cabinet to pull out and fill in. It's really, really, really complicated and reflects an immense amount of thought to keep things from falling apart. And I've seen nothing fall apart. I've been now three plus weeks here, and I am just continuously impressed with the quality of workmanship that I'm seeing and the planning that went into making the election process what it is.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. The
Well, go
disconnect
ahead
for me is that reading the news.
Max. And I still get it.
No, I'm not.
No, but you can. You can say, Craig, you went down there literally ready for battle. You thought there'd be Confederate flags and guns and the KKK and hoods, like all this stuff to intimidate the votes, to suppress the votes. You thought people would be charging the counting centers to overturn the machines. And that wasn't wrong. Like you did think I thought that because that's sort of what I thought. And contextually, it's not an improper thought. With the Capitol insurrection, with the Pelosi attack, with the Whittemore kidnapping, this stuff does happen. You've got people with guns outside of ballot drop-off places in Arizona. So it does happen. Sometimes it's really big. Sometimes it's really small. I'm just saying here in Georgia, it's been one big yawn burger. And I got to also say, the elections people are not going to take guff from anyone. They know what they're doing. You come in and you have a different idea. My sense is it's largely these older black women will just put you in your place. It is so impressive to see.
All right. Well, thanks for the passionate reply to the question I didn't get
Max,
a
are you
chance to
frozen?
ask. But you're frozen. I think your
You
internet
look like you're
connection is bad
smiling
at the
at me,
moment.
Max.
Yeah, your connection. Can you hear me? Craig? All right. Well, I'm going to end the show now. Well, then you've come back. So thanks for the report on Election Day.